So good morning. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me and learning about some community resources that I hope will be helpful to you all, or maybe you can spread the word to someone who maybe it would be helpful to. As you know, I do these trainings every week, and a lot of my trainings focus on self-care, stress management, mental health. But I also want to make sure that you're getting information about community resources, because of course it's not just about your mental health and your sustainability and caregiving, it's also about the resources and the things that we have available to us in the community that make the actual caregiving, physical caregiving part a little easier. And so I'm really excited and honored to have our guest speaker today, Amy Marchant. She is an occupational therapist who focuses and specializes in aging in place and home modifications. And I think this is a great resource. I was excited to hear about what she was doing through Liv Equipt. We met at a convention for assistive technology and disabilities. And so I was really impressed with the work she's doing. And so I'm thankful for you, Amy, for coming and taking the time to talk with my caregivers about what you have to offer.
Thank
so of
you
course,
so much for having me.
So this will be recorded. So if anyone wants to go back and review the information, you're welcome to do that. And then Amy, do you have a preference on how you would like to receive questions? Would you like those to be in the chat? Would you want them to unmute or kind of do it in between or wait till the end? What's your preference?
Whatever they prefer is fine with me. You're welcome to unmute and ask any questions or participate. I love engagement, so whatever you
Good deal.
prefer.
All right, wonderful. And I will be monitoring the chat for you. So if anything comes up in there, I'll make sure to let you know. So I'll go ahead and zip it and let you take over and do what you do and let everyone know about your wonderful resources.
All right, thank you so much. As she said, my name's Amy Marchant. I'm an occupational therapist and owner of Liv Equipt. And today we will be talking about how to identify and prevent fall hazards in the home. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we thought we worked out all the kinks. Okay. So, Jenny, the issue is that I can't see my cursor and it's asking about it being recorded. So that's what I was trying to figure out before we started, how to click on that, and I can't, and enter does not work. Do you have any idea how to fix that?
Let me see here.
Okay, hopefully. All right. Hey, my name's Amy. I'm an occupational therapist and owner of Liv Equipt. And today we're going to talk about how to identify and prevent fall hazards in the home. So first, let's start off with what is occupational therapy? If you're not familiar with OT, if you think of anything that occupies your time, anything that you do each day, if there's something that you're struggling with, we can work on that with occupational therapy. In the home, we tend to focus on your self-care activities, home management, managing your health, being able to take your medications appropriately, and really just focusing on improving that safety and independence in the home. So occupational therapy is highly individualized and we really prioritize function. So we do work on those foundational components like balance and strength, but it's really how you engage in your daily activities and just promoting that independence. So what I've learned from working with clients in their homes for over 10 years is that our homes are not equipped for significant illness, much less for aging or much less significant illness or injury. So I worked in hospitals and rehab, but primarily home health. And I was really just seeing that there was a gap, that people still needed more assistance and didn't have the resources that they needed in the home. So I founded Liv Equipt to provide a solution for all of your home needs and your daily living needs. So I wanted to shift the focus off of the client onto the environment and determine what it is that they need to really be able to engage in their daily life. And I wanted to adapt the environment and the activity to meet the client where they are now. So what we do with Liv Equipt is we perform home assessments tailored to the client's specific needs, and tell you whether you need minor modifications like we'll talk about today, or continued occupational therapy, as well as different adaptive equipment or things like that, just to make your life easier for you and your caregiver. So we also provide in-home occupational therapy as well. It's not home health, it's under a different part of your insurance, but we provide telehealth throughout the state as well. But we are located in Birmingham. So today, our goals are to understand why fall prevention is important, be able to identify fall hazards in and around the home, and to learn some simple home modifications that you can do to protect yourself, a loved one, or a client. So why is fall prevention important? 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 fall each year. 3 million older adults are treated in the emergency room for falls each year. 1 in 5 falls results in a major injury, such as a broken bone or a head injury. And every 20 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. So these are some pretty staggering statistics. So fall prevention is very important. If we can prevent falls, then there are lots of injuries and continued difficulty that we can head off. So after going over those statistics, do you feel like falls are a normal part of aging? No, they're not. Falls are common, but they are not normal. However, they are preventable. I would beg to differ and say that most falls are preventable. Some things are just beyond our control, but we do want to account for and try to prevent the falls that we can. So some things that we can do to prevent falls are to speak up. Only half of those who actually fall tell their doctor. So many times I'm working with a client and they tell me that they fell again, but they're not going to tell their daughter or son because they'll worry about them, or they're not going to let them do something that they want to do, so they don't tell anybody. But if you're having falls, there's a reason that you're having falls, and that needs to be addressed. Also, it's important to keep moving, to exercise and stay active. Have your vision checked to make sure you're not having trouble with your vision, and making your home safer through different modifications, which we'll focus on today. So that's what we work on with Liv Equipt. We work to discover the reason for the fall and put preventative measures in place to ensure your safety. So some common fall risk factors, we have our intrinsic factors that are unique to yourself and our extrinsic factors. So intrinsic factors, we know as we age, our chance of falling increases, mainly due to decreased strength, balance deficits, trouble with our memory, trouble with vision, different medical conditions, difficulty walking, or even just fear of falling can increase your risk for falls. Also, we have your extrinsic factors that are your environment, things that are around you. And those are the things that we can control better. So clutter, rugs, pets, poor lighting, slippery surfaces, side effects from medications can increase your risk for falls, as well as improper equipment or use of that equipment, and improper fitting shoes or shoes that are slippery. Any questions before I go forward? Okay. So now I want to talk about identifying those fall hazards. Let's start with flooring. So here we have someone's kitchen, and you can see the rugs there. Rugs are always a trip hazard. You want to make sure that if you do have a rug down, that maybe in front of the sink or something, that it is non-slip, and prevent the one or eliminate the rugs that are in like the walkway that are easily to trip on. Also, this floor is really slippery. It's like a linoleum, and whatever they were cleaning the floor with was really slippery as well. So you want to make sure that whatever you're cleaning your surfaces with, that it does cut grease and isn't going to be slippery. Here we have a threshold. So you want to be careful with those thresholds. And of course, this person said, I've lived here forever. I'm used to it. I'm not going to trip on that. But it's when you're carrying a cup of coffee or in a hurry to get to the bathroom, that even things like this that you're used to stepping over for 30 years that those can be detrimental. So when you can fix this with just a different threshold to make that less of a fall hazard, you want to do those small modifications before it becomes an issue. And of course, broken tile or uneven flooring can definitely be a fall hazard. Next, we have clutter. So clutter doesn't have to be stuff piled up all through the house. Clutter can be furniture as well. So as you'll see here, this person has a little vanity area on the way to the bathroom. So right here, so that's a tight space to get through. And behind those robes there are a bunch of purses. So it doesn't even give on you as you're trying to walk through there. And of course, they used a walker. So they either had to leave their walker behind or turn it and try to push it through, which is not a safe solution. So you want to make sure, you want to make sure that you have clear pathways. This is probably more what you were thinking of when I mentioned clutter. But on top of the clutter, there's also a step down right there. So that's a double whammy. You might can see the blue tape on the side of the door where we were going to add a grab bar to have something to hold on in order to step down. But also you want to declutter and get things out of the walkways as much as possible. And then again, we have clutter, and this one's in front of an entryway. So you want to be sure that you do have two clear, safe ways to exit your home in the case of a fire. So making sure that you have two clear exits is very important as well. Next, we have bathrooms. So where do you think most falls occur?
Probably where there's water.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it used to be that it was in the shower, but it's actually now the toilet is where we're seeing most falls occurring. So, but the bathroom is definitely a space to really look at. So here you see this rug messed up and the shower curtain is pulled down. They're actually holding on to the curtain to step over because they don't have anything to hold on to. And again, that's a tight pathway to get to the shower, getting in and out. So a lot going on there. And here you might notice this towel rack is falling off on that left side closer to the shower because they're holding on to that to step in, and it's not secure. It's not in a stud, and that's a dead giveaway that they need a grab bar, something to hold on to there. And then here again, we've got a tight space with the drawers there in front of the toilet. But they did try. They've got a shower chair and they have one of the bars that hooks on the side of the tub. But that chair doesn't fit in the shower. So they're not one size fits all. You do want to make sure that the chair is going to fit safely in the shower. So they've got it turned sideways, which is also a hazard because you're sitting uneven and trying not to bump the back of the chair behind you. So you want to be careful and make sure that it is the appropriate equipment that you're using. More bathrooms. Here, they were having some trouble at the toilet, so they got one of the toilet seat risers. Now, these, I'll show you the ones that I prefer here in a little bit. This one, if you'll notice on the front, it has a little knob that you can secure. You do want to be sure that you're tightening that ever so often, making sure that it is secure. If you have one of these, I prefer the ones that actually bolt to the seat. You don't have to worry about that because I have seen clients who've used these and it's actually tipped over off of the toilet if it's not secure. So you have to be careful with those. Again, they have that same toilet seat riser, but you'll notice the puppy pad here on the floor. So those are slick, very slick. But me simply saying you don't need to have that in the floor, let's pick that up, that doesn't solve the problem. We've got to figure out why they're having that there in the first place. So obviously they feel like they're not getting to the bathroom in time and they need something there just in case. But why is it? Obviously, they've got some incontinence, but for this person in particular, it was so hard for them to get up out of their chair that it took too long to get to the bathroom. So we fixed the issue with them getting out of the chair, and then now they don't have to have the puppy pad in front of the toilet as well. And you'll notice the blue tape there where we were putting a grab bar as well. All right, here we kind of have a lot going on. First, you'll notice they've got the rugs. And these rugs even overlap. Anytime you have an overlap in the rugs, it's definitely a trip hazard. So make sure if you do have a non-slip rug in the bathroom that they're not overlapping. Preferably pick them up and just put it down when you are showering and getting out of the shower. Also, see, we've got an arrow here. They have a suction bar here on the side of the tub. Those come unstuck very easily. And especially there on the side of the tub, they're using that to get up and down from the toilet. So if they push and it comes unstuck, they're falling into the tub. So that there is definitely a fall hazard. And again, oops, let me see if I can go back. Their shower chair does not fit in their tub because it is not one size fits all. So again, making sure that the equipment that you have is the appropriate size and will fit correctly to use facing forward in the shower. Now we move on to lighting. Here you've got a good bit of light there at the sink, but look over at the shower. Once you pull that shower curtain to, it is dark. And anytime you add water, like Jenny mentioned, that increases your risk for falls. So this person really needs some light over the shower for their safety. Now, these fixtures, you'll notice all of the shadows. For someone who has low vision or dementia, these shadows on the wall can be difficult to navigate. It's hard to see, and can cause different shadows on the walls that can scare someone who has dementia and make them more nervous, and maybe act out behaviorally. Also, it is important to have a night light or a lamp beside the bed, for if you do wake up, you can turn that on rather than trying to get to the bathroom in the dark. Furniture. Here they've got some cushions on top of their chair, so that tells me that they're having some trouble getting up. Maybe we need some higher chairs or something different. If it's in the living room, they have furniture risers that you can actually elevate your chair. But it's easy for these cushions to slip and someone could fall from the chair that way as well. And a bed being too high, you do want to make sure your bed is not too high. So often I see clients who are getting dressed on the side of the bed and they slip because it's too high and they fall and break a tailbone or get a compression fracture. So you do want to make sure that your bed is not too high, and maybe think about a bed rail to assist getting in and out of the bed as well. And then rocking chairs. Often rocking chairs are difficult to get out of. So if you have another option that is more sturdy, that would be much safer for you. Stairs. Preferably you have two railings on the staircase. This one, they've only got one. And if you'll notice, it is not secure as well. So you definitely want to make sure that your railings on your staircase are secure, and possibly add a second one if you've got the space for it. Here, you'll notice they've got some things on the stairs. They've got sheets on the stairs because they have a dog that comes inside and then gets their carpet muddy. So again, if I just said, hey, let's pick this up off the stairs, that's a fall hazard. You haven't addressed the problem. So you really need to figure out why those things are going on in order to provide the proper solution. But yeah, never put anything on the stairs, even if you're sitting something down to come back and get later. It's always a fall hazard. Try to make sure that your stairs are clear and don't have anything on them. Surfaces. Here we have a very uneven walkway, some uneven bricks. That is definitely a fall hazard, as well as concrete, cracks in the concrete and roots that make the concrete get uneven. Those are definite trip hazards. Because oftentimes you can't see on this last one here, you can't see that those have about half an inch up. That's a trip hazard. All right, more stairs. Here, this client has to immediately step out of their home and down onto another surface. That is always risky. You're having to stand on the stairs to try to unlock the door. And if you've got bags in your hand and you're standing on two different steps and trying to open a door that you're in the way of as well, definitely puts you at risk for falls. So I'll show you in a minute an option for fixing that to make that safer as well. But that is definitely a fall hazard. They at least have railing on each side to hold on to, but we can make this safer for sure. See that step down there. And again, anything on the step. So leaves this time of year, especially making sure that your stairs are clear of any debris. All right, so here is what I was talking about. So this person doesn't have to immediately step down out of their door, but that step is pretty small to put your foot on. So they're still having to stand on two different steps to try to unlock the door and get in. So what we did was provided a platform there at the door to have a flat surface to stand on and be able to easily unlock and open the door safely. They also have lower rise steps than standard. So if someone has trouble getting up and down the stairs, that's much easier for them as well. Now here, do you notice anything about this picture? I'll let you think about it for a second.
It looks like the way the door opens out and the size of that little porch area could be very cumbersome for somebody who's coming in from grocery shopping or has a walker or anything like that. It seems like it would be really difficult to navigate that.
Definitely. And they added that double railing. It doesn't come all the way down the stairs. But again, like as you mentioned, they step out and immediately down onto that smaller surface. Also, here, they have to come all the way down and try to step up onto that carport area and get into the car with a walker. So that's very difficult to step up and into the car and navigate the walker. And it was very difficult for this client. They were also adamant about not changing a few things. So when you're working with someone in their homes, we understand that it is your home and you're ultimately the decision maker. We can just make our recommendations. So what we ended up doing is adding a grab bar here at the door so they have something to hold on to step down, and adding this pathway, the sidewalk there, to help them to get to the car on one level surface and not have to step up and then try to get into the car. And that also helped how the railing didn't go all the way down the stairs. So kind of cut that last step out at least as well. But yeah, still not very much room to navigate there at the top. Okay, anything you notice about these stairs?
I can't tell if the railing goes all the way down to the bottom or not, but it looks like it maybe stops short. But then
Okay.
also the walkway seems very cluttered. There's like a hose in the way and like a bunch of potted plants that might be difficult to navigate if they don't have enough lighting.
True. And this person, they were very active and obviously they loved gardening. They've got potted plants all over the place, but they had trouble with their vision. So, as you mentioned about the railing, like it's really hard to see. So, we pressure washed, cleared up that pathway down there. They still have their hose out there gardening. They have to be extra careful, but we also added some non-slip strips on those stairs. So it's much easier to identify where the step ends and begins, especially for someone who has low vision. That's very important. So some simple home modifications that you can do today are declutter. Go ahead and start decluttering now. The last thing you want to do is have a fall and your family come in and have to help get things, help get clear pathways and do all of those things and then be the one decluttering. You want to be the one in charge of what needs to go where and what can get donated. So go ahead and start thinking about that today. Also, increased lighting. I don't know anyone who couldn't use some push lights underneath a countertop or in the bathroom just to have some increased lighting. Remove throw rugs. Throw rugs are definitely a fall hazard. Have a seat in the shower. Make sure that you have a shower chair that fits correctly and sit down to shower. Anytime you do add water, you're at increased risk for falls. If you do have trouble with your balance or strength or endurance, you definitely want to be sure that you are showering sitting down. Same thing with dressing. If you're having trouble with your balance, standing on one leg and stepping into your pants is not safe. So it's best to do that sitting down as well. And make sure that you have well-fitting non-slip shoes. So let's talk about some easy and low-cost home modifications. So equipment, that's always an easier fix. So these are the toilet seat risers that I prefer. These actually bolt to the toilet. So your toilet seat comes off, the seat goes on, and then your toilet seat bolts into the toilet. So you don't have difficulty reaching necessary areas to get clean. The ones that we looked at previously, they impede your reach, so you have trouble getting clean as well. But these are super sturdy, and this one even has the railings to push up from if you are having trouble getting up and down. And of course, it makes the toilet seat higher, which makes it easier too. Grab bars, detachable handheld showers, and shower chairs, or here we have a bench. This person, they have a walk-in shower, but it still has about a 4 or 5 inch step to get in. And so they were still having some issues. So we got a tub bench where they could sit down and slide over into the shower rather than having to step over that ledge. And those can be used in the tub as well. And then here we have the toilet seat riser that bolts to the toilet, but this one does not have the handles. And again, we put in the grab bars, a shower chair that actually fits appropriately in the shower, the detachable shower head. And here we also have a tub cut. We're going to talk about these some more here in a little bit. But this one has a door, so they can still take baths if needed. But that little doorway can be removed to make it easier to step in and out of the shower. Here's some more equipment. The top left there, that bench actually folds down and rests there on the edge of the tub. So if one person does not need a bench to shower, they can move it out of the way easily. And then if the other member of the family does need to, you can fold it down and easily get in and out of the shower that way. The bottom left, this is a newer product that I absolutely love. So if you do not need your toilet higher, you just need the railing, this actually bolts to the toilet under your toilet seat as well. And the arms flip up. So you can keep it up when you have company and pull it down when you need to use it. So those are really neat. In the middle, We have another version of that tub bench. So you can sit down and slide over into the tub to get in, not having to step over that tub, that step to get in. And it has a cutout there in the seat, so you don't have to stand up. You can actually reach to perform hygiene and be sure that you're getting clean without having to stand up in the shower. In the top right, again, this is a folding chair, but this one actually has folding arms as well. So you can fold it out of the way if there are members of the family that do not need to use it, and fold it down. And rather than having to get a chair in and out of the way, this just makes it a lot easier to manage. There in the bottom right, we have a tub lift. So this actually raises you up and down in the tub. So if you are having trouble, if you need to take a bath to soak your back or hip, any ailments, it helps you to be able to get down into the tub and soak, and then raises you back up so that you can get out of the tub safely. Grab bars. Grab bars are always a quick fix. Um, ADA is not required in the home. So contractors typically follow ADA because that's what they know. When we can work with contractors and all work together, that's when we really get the best results, because we will look and see where the most appropriate place is for the grab bar. You can actually put a grab bar in the wrong place and end up having a rotator cuff tear. So you do want to be careful and make sure that they are installed tailored to your specific needs. So here we added a grab bar there outside of the shower. They didn't want to put it on the tile there. And now they've got something to hold on to step into the tub, into the shower. And then when I went back to make sure that they were doing okay, they had a towel there in the floor, all messed up, that also increases their risk for fall. So we had to address that as well. But if you're having trouble with your shower being slippery, they make non-slip strips. Those are the best solution. However, they don't come up easily. So oftentimes if someone has tile, they don't want to use those. So you do want to be sure that you have a shower mat that is non-slip, that will stick to the shower, stick to the tub floor, and make sure that it's not slippery for you, rather than using a towel that gets all bunched up. Again, we have a grab bar there at the toilet, just something to hold on to for safety. And you'll notice this one's at an angle because that is what's best for that client, rather than vertical or horizontal. So it just depends on your strength and different things that are going on with you specifically. Again, grab bars in the shower and at the toilet as well. So oftentimes people will say they don't want grab bars, they don't want their home to look like a hospital, but you've got tons of options. This first one, the top left, that is a grab bar that is disguised as a toilet paper holder. So same with the one next to it, that one's a towel holder, a towel rack. So they do make pretty grab bar options. The one at the bottom left, that one flips up and down. Then you've got your gold and your wood grain, and then almost any color you can think of. There's a lot that you can do with grab bars. Even someone who has trouble with their memory, different colors may be helpful. Same thing with low vision. So really keeping those in mind rather than the standard grab bar. Doors. So I love a barn door. It's difficult to navigate having a walker or a wheelchair and the door opening towards you and having to get out of the way. So barn doors are a wonderful option. Just sliding it back and forth. We've even split it and had one that goes to each direction if we don't have enough space to do your typical barn door. And then this here, this is a special hinge. It's called an offset hinge. So if you have If you really need your doorway widened but don't have the money for it, this can add 1 to 2 inches in your walkway. It removes the door from the pathway and lines it up with the door frame. So you've got a little more space if you only needed a couple of inches. That really helps. So now we're going to talk about stairs. This client behind me where I took the picture is actually a ramp. So someone gave them a ramp that built them a ramp that they needed, but didn't think about raising the deck up to the level of the door. So they were still having trouble getting in and out of the door. So we added just a little threshold ramp with a railing and those non-slip strips to make it easier to walk up and down that little ramp and get in and out of the house safely. Stair lift for indoor use to prevent having to go up and down the stairs. If you are having difficulty getting up and down the stairs, a stair lift is a great solution. And again, adding double railing, having something to hold on to on each side makes it much more safe. And you want to make sure you've got enough lighting as well. All right, tub cuts. So a tub cut actually cuts out the side of the tub and takes that step over from like 17 inches down to more like 5 inches. So it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the shower safely. And again, having a grab bar, anytime you're stepping in and out of the shower, I would highly recommend having a grab bar there at the entrance. Again, there's another tub cut. This was a very high tub, so they still have a good step in, probably more like 8 inches, but I think this shower, if I remember correctly, is like 20 inches to get in. So that helps. And they have the bench there because one person still has trouble stepping over that. And now they can sit down and not have to bring their legs all the way over that high ledge because they've got the cut, so they don't have to lift their legs quite as high. And again, there's the tub cut that has the door. So if you do have a member of the family that takes baths or grandchildren that come to visit, you still have that option as well. Okay, here we have a roll-in shower. If you are in a wheelchair, of course, a roll-in shower is going to be the best, safest option. This is actually a shower chair that can roll. It has a cutout, but it's covered at the moment. But this chair can roll over the toilet and then into the shower. So it eliminates having to transfer from a wheelchair to the toilet, back to the wheelchair, into the shower. So that is very fatiguing for someone who has trouble getting back and forth. So having a chair that can roll over the toilet and into the shower to eliminate all of those transfers is very helpful as well. And then here we have those flip up handles that we talked about earlier, as well as grab bars and a tub bench. This person, they're able to step over that ledge right now, but I wanted to make sure that in the future, if they do have more difficulty, they have the option of bringing those other 2 legs out over that ledge and be able to get into the shower that way as well. So it's important to plan for the future as well because you don't want to have to modify something and then modify it again. And then again, just grab bars there at the toilet. And this one actually has a bidet. So if you're having trouble with hygiene or urinary tract infections, bidets are a wonderful option as well. Ramps. Anytime you're having trouble getting in and out of the house, if you use a walker or a wheelchair, ramps could be a great option. They're on the more expensive side, but definitely if you can prevent falls, they are well worth it. You can have stairs to continue for one family member to walk down the sidewalk to the mailbox, and there's different things that you can do there as well. This last one, we did not have the space to add a ramp at the end of the deck, so we were actually able to cut in the deck in order to make the ramp. So I loved this solution. So when should you get a formal home assessment? Often I tell people if you do need a ramp, if you're having trouble with stairs getting in and out of the house, you probably have some trouble in the bathroom as well. And there are some things that we can look at. And what we do is we go through all of the activities that you do each day. We go through how you're getting in and out of the house, up and down the stairs, in and out of the shower, in and out of the bed. We look at everything to determine where barriers are and determine a way to improve those fall hazards and make it easier for you. Okay, so just wrapping up, some key points today: evaluate your environment. I know I've thrown a lot at you today, but I do want to make sure that you have all the information. So be thinking about some of those things that we've talked about today. And start decluttering. I cannot stress that enough. If you've lived in your home for a while, things just tend to stack up, and before you know it, you've got a lot of stuff that you probably don't need or boxes you haven't looked at in years. So go ahead and start thinking about those things. Talk to your doctor, request physical therapy, occupational therapy if you have had a fall. Again, if you're having a fall, there's a reason for it that needs to be addressed, whether it's environmental, you tripped over a rug, or balance, strength. There's something that can be done to prevent future falls. And also, your home should be tailored to your specific needs. ADA is not required in the home. You need to make sure that things are the way that you need it specifically for you. And then I just included a little questionnaire. If you want to take a look at this and just ask some questions to determine if you or your loved one is at risk for falls. I could send this to you as well. But if you answer, I think it's 4 points. Yeah, if you score more than 4, then you are at risk for falls. And if you'll notice, the first 2 questions are worth 2 points. So if you are at risk for falls, be sure that you're talking to someone, your doctor, getting some therapy to reduce your chance for further falls. All right. Any questions?
While we allow our guests to gather their thoughts, I do want to thank you for this information. I learned a lot, and it's obvious to me that you are very passionate about this, and you've taken a lot of time and care into the work that you do. And I think it's beautiful, because I think that there's a lot of stuff that can be done that people don't even know should be addressed or can be addressed. So I appreciate you going through all of those and all that information. So if somebody were to want to get a hold of you and receive your services, is this a statewide thing, or is this only local to you?
So in-person sessions we serve the Birmingham metro area, but we do televisits, we do occupational therapy remotely as well, and home assessments. As long as you have someone who is able to take some measurements and hold the camera while we're seeing how the client is able to get around their home, then we can do that remotely as well if you are not in the Birmingham area.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Because most of the people on our program, they want to stay home as long as they can. They want to keep their loved ones close and provide the best quality care that they can. And things like this, I mean, just a lot of the simple solutions you went through could really definitely help towards that goal. So thank you again.
Of course. Thank you.
And again, anyone who has joined us today live, please put your email in the chat so I can send you a post survey. And then Amy, if you wanted to send me that that assessment form that you shared, I can include that as well, so they can have that on hand.
Okay, sounds great.
Like on your toilet seat riser with the bars on them, where were you able to find those at?
Amazon. Amazon tends to have most things that I recommend. And they're better about taking things back as well. Often, shower chairs and toilet seat risers, things like that are not returnable. So it is important to measure to make sure that if you have a round toilet, you're getting a round toilet seat riser versus an elongated. So things like that, be careful and read to see if it is returnable. I will say they also have them sometimes at like Home Depot, Lowe's. A lot of times you have to order them online though, but that's another place to check as well.
Any more questions before we close for today? Make sure you jot down Amy's contact information, visit the website. I'm sure it's got some more info on there for you. But I do again want to thank you, Amy. I know this was really helpful for me to know so I can share the information with people, but also for the viewers. And again, I think it's beautiful work that you're doing. And it's just those little things that allow people to stay comfortable and stay in their home. That's what we're gearing towards, right? The sustainability of it all.
Exactly.
Yes. So any more questions before we leave today?
This is Charlotte. I'm
Hey,
sorry
Charlotte.
I was late. I am so sorry I was late. I missed most of it. Will it be online to pull up later, the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Amy's agreed to go ahead and
right.
let us share the recording on our YouTube and also on our website. So that should be available within the next, well, probably early next week.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Thank you again, everybody. Enjoy this weekend. I know it's going to be chilly, so get your snuggles on if you can. Take care of yourselves, take your naps, drink your water, and we will see you hopefully next week. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.